What is up, guys? The final NFL division preview. We are down south today. It's going to be me and Tyler again, and we are going to be looking at the southern divisions of the AFC and the NFC. You know, Tyler, we talked a little beforehand, but there's not much to say. Anything you want before we jump right in?
No, I mean, this is the last one we're going to do before the regular season starts because these are the last, 8 teams we got to do, and then on to some regular football. So let's bang these out, find a couple more winners, and get to it.
Yeah, I've liked the bets that we found so far. And there's one that I talked about with the Jacksonville Jaguars that I've been contemplating that I can't wait to hear your thoughts on. But let's jump right in. The first team let's talk about. So I'm going to just go basically in order of like projected finish here. And in the AFC South, it's tied. So we both have the Titans and the Colts are at 9.5, but the Colts have a little less juice on their over 9.5. So we'll start with the Titans. That's the favorite according to Bookmaker. What do you think of this Tennessee team? And are they obviously very slight favorite, but do you consider them to be the favorite in this division?
I mean, as of right now, yes. With all the question marks around the two linemen for the Colts and Carson Wentz, you got to favor the Titans here. Mm-hmm. I mean, Derrick Henry should just keep chugging along. It's impossible to tackle that guy on your own. So once he gets into open space, he's going to dominate you. Ryan Tannehill will have another great year with another added weapon in Julio Jones. My only worry there is losing Geno Smith. You lose that middle of the field presence. Mm-hmm. But looking at this team on paper, they kind of remind me of an AFC version of the Rams. They have like one string of guys, and the moment someone gets hurt, you look at the guy behind them, it's a giant drop-off. So I think this team is going to be as good as long as injuries don't start to riddle them. If they get riddled by injuries, this team's going to fall off a cliff.
Yeah, that's definitely true, right? That's true of most teams, but other teams do have more depth, and I see exactly what you're saying, right? Let's look at the top 3 receivers: A.J. Brown, Julio Jones, and then Josh Reynolds in the slot. That's so pretty good.
You lose one of them guys, Josh Reynolds, not your 2. Dez Fitzpatrick, who's a rookie, is your 3.
Yeah. Or so Marcus Johnson or Chester Rogers, who none of which have had a lot of success in the league. Jonnu Smith's going to be a big one, right? But if you told me, hey, you lose Jonnu Smith, but you get Julio Jones, I'll take it. Right?
Yeah, but the question is, we all know how Julio's health is. Is this Julio for 6 weeks, or is this Julio for 12 weeks before he has a toe injury?
Who do you think plays more games, Julio Jones or Odell Beckham Jr.?
I say Odell.
Okay, I'll say Julio. So we'll visit this on our little rundowns.
I think they can kind of hide him a little better to where he's just kind of running around out there, to where Julio's going to be like, you got to cover that guy. You got to double cover that guy. He's just going to get beat up on the offense.
Yeah, I hope they do, because I grabbed A.J. Brown in a fantasy league last night. But let's talk about what's really going on when you're dealing with the over-under, right? So it's 9.5, juice to the over. But to me, Tyler, the story of this team is the defense. Now, in 2019, this was one of the best defenses we've ever seen, right? We're giving them props, right, on the shows that we're all doing, right? Vrabel, right? Hey, he's not in the Belichick coaching tree, but he played for Belichick, right? He's a badass, right? Like, if the coaches all got into like a fight, like I'd probably take Vrabel or that guy from Detroit, right? If there was a
no, I'm taking the Jets coach now. Solid? He's putting somebody on their neck.
All right, but you understand my point, right? The guy's a certified badass.
Yeah.
The fall, I don't know what I was surprised by more: the Bills regression, the Seahawks regression, or the Titans regression in 2020. Does this just flip around? Is defense just impossible to predict year to year, or did the league figure something out? Are they missing some players that I'm not aware of? Because I know you're aware of these depth charts, especially on the defensive end, so much better than I am due to your knowledge of college football. What happened there, and what do you expect this year?
I mean, looking at last year, it was all offense, just across the league. How many games did we see go over in the first 5 weeks before the book started to hang totals in the 50s every game?
Right.
So, I mean, I think it was just offense loaded last year. There was very few teams that were able to dominate a game with their defense. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, looking at this defense, ranked 14th in the AFC, 28th in the NFL in total defense. Now, their rush defense was top 10 in the AFC, but in the entire NFL, they were 20th. So this defense really needs to get some work, or they're just going to be playing in shootouts all year. But I mean, when you have Derrick Henry, you could choose so much clock on the other side that
Yeah.
kind of helps your defense very much.
All right, and they run a 3-4. The defensive lineman Jeffrey Simmons, Tier Tart, Danico Autry. What do you think of that line? Because I think that a lot of the stuff Vrabel does require them to win the line of scrimmage. Not the most impressive names, but am I underrating some of these guys?
I think Jeffrey Simmons is a stud. The other two
Okay.
I'm not very familiar with, but I think he's going to be really good.
All right, and then at linebacker they're going to start Harold Landry, Jane Brown, Rashawn Evans, and a guy that you're familiar with, Bud Dupree.
Who they just
Pretty,
wasted a lot of money on.
you don't like that pickup?
I think they thought of him as a player that can just play in any system and look good.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're blitzing off the edge and you have TJ Watt, Cam Hayward, and Stephon Tuitt pushing the other side and getting double teams, makes your life a lot easier. Similar to, remember Lamar Woodley when he came to the Raiders, when he played next to James Harrison?
Yeah.
He looked like an animal in Pittsburgh. You got to Oakland. He was the guy getting the double team. Couldn't do anything.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. But I do trust Vrabel to scheme him to get him loose. I do like. So I know the secondary is a little better. I do like the secondary, right? Janoris Jenkins, the Jackrabbit, maybe a little bit past his prime, but let's be honest, corner's the weakest position in the NFL. Like if you're going to critique all these teams, it's always they can do better in the secondary. So there's not like there's just a bunch of cornerbacks running around. Amani Hookie and Kevin Byard as the safeties. Hey, I mean they're solid. They're not superstars, but they're not scrubs. And then Christian Fulton on the other side there. Breon Borders will be the slot back. Pretty good secondary. What do you think?
I'm not big on the secondary. I think it's one of the worst ones in the league.
Wow. Okay. So you don't like those safeties I like?
I think Kevin Byrd's the only good player in that secondary.
You don't like Jackrabbit anymore?
I think he's washed. I think he's done.
That happens to corners really fast, too.
Yeah, I think he's done. I mean, their only bright spot would be Caleb Farley coming in from the draft and just being that shutdown corner everyone thinks he can be.
That doesn't usually happen with rookies.
Yeah, exactly. And he was dealing with back injuries. I could see him dealing with those all year.
I mean, even if Farley ends up being a stud pick, usually rookies are not good. I mean, it's very rare. Like Deion Sanders got. I mean, even Patrick Peterson got smoked his rookie year, right? And then he ended up dominating the next 5 years. So, not a lot to go there. So, why don't we talk about the schedule real quick, Tyler? Did you have that pulled up? And we'll do our win-loss records because that's always a lot of fun.
Yeah. So here they went 11-5 last year.
Okay.
They have the 13th hardest schedule this year. Mm-hmm. They start the year at home against Arizona. I think they win that game. What would you say?
In Arizona?
No, at home for Arizona.
They win at home. I think they might struggle on the road against that team.
At Seattle, I think Russ lights that secondary up and they win that game.
I like Seattle at home, yeah.
Yeah, so 1-1. Home for Indianapolis.
I think I'd say they're going to split. I think they lose the dome, and I think they win home.
Okay, so 2-1 at the Jets, 3-1 at Jacksonville, probably 4-1.
Yeah, I can't wait to talk about them.
Home for Buffalo on a Monday night, 4-2.
You think Buffalo beats them?
Yeah,
I think Tennessee could squeeze that one out. So let's give me the benefit of the doubt on the next one. Count that as a loss now, but we'll get the benefit of the doubt on the next cross up.
Home for Kansas City, 4-3.
Yeah, they probably lose that.
At Indianapolis, we said they were splitting, 4-4.
Okay, all right.
At the Rams, 4-5. I mean, this is a nice, tough stretch right in the middle of the schedule.
Yeah.
Home for New Orleans, they probably get that game.
New Orleans traditionally has not done well outside of the dome, but we have to watch this, and we'll get when we go to the other side. Winston's not going to have those same noodle arm issues in the outside, right? He can let it rip. So I don't think it's just safe to assume that New Orleans is going to struggle on the road like they did last year. But let's just give them the win for now because we've been pretty tough on them earlier. And a couple of those where I wouldn't be surprised if they grabbed one of them from the Bills or the Chiefs. So
yeah.
So we'll put them 5-5.
Yeah, that's 5-5. Okay. Then they go to New England. That could be a loss. I mean, that's a tough place to play.
Yeah, I mean, New England's one of those teams where 4 games in, we're going to know, like, this team's legit, Belichick's got him back, or, wow.
Yeah.
It really was Brady, and those first take shows are going to be insufferable.
Then they go to their bye week. Then they come home to play Jacksonville. So that probably
They're
puts
gonna
you
sweep
at
Jacksonville.
yes, that probably puts you at
Unfortunately, I
what
wish it was not
7 and
like that.
5
Yeah.
at Pittsburgh. Probably 8 and
You
5.
call it. You think they beat Pittsburgh
I think so.
with a terrible Taos flying? All right, I'll defer to you there.
8 and 5. Then they come home to play San Fran on a Thursday night. I know you love home teams on Thursday
Yeah,
night, but that's
always
8
do.
and 6.
No,
That'll be
it's not.
That'll be Trey Lance time.
Oh, Trey Lance is not okay.
Then
right,
home
next
for
one.
Miami. I think Miami beats them
In Miami or in Tennessee?
in Tennessee.
No, Tennessee's winning that game.
All right, so that if that's for you, that'd be 11 and 5.
Okay.
And then at Houston, so they're finishing 12 and 5 in your book.
And what did you have them at?
I had
10-7?
them at 9 and 8.
Oh, okay. Wow. Wow. So we're doing a lot different there. All right. Well, okay. I'm not necessarily loving that over though. I think
if you're going to bet it, you just bet them to win the division.
I'll buy that. Let's go through Indy's schedule, and then we'll get a better idea. So, but before we go through Indy's schedule, let's talk about props for this team. Tannehill, maybe a Julio Jones season under, since you don't think that he's going to go. Do you think A.J. Brown comes back? Is this the year the wheels fall off Derrick Henry? What do you think for props?
I mean, I see they have Henry's yards set at 15.55 and a half. Mm-hmm. I know that's a lot, but he's probably going to touch the ball 20 to 25 times a game. Mm-hmm. He probably goes over that number.
Yeah, I like it. I thought it'd be like 17 or 18.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I thought that was a little short. And then Tannehill's passing yards are 4,200. I think that's a little low too. I think he's going to get you at least 45 with those receivers.
I wonder why both those numbers are so low.
I think it has to do with the fact that like guys start to get hurt on this team. They're really going to take a step back.
The Henry one I can imagine because he's a running back. He's taken the biggest beating out of anyone the last 2 years. If it wasn't for the fact that he's superhuman and you watch him and you're just like, this guy's not like a normal football player, we would all say, oh, he's done. Like, you can't take that much beating. I'm surprised he's gone this far. So the Derrick Henry one, because it seems like when he falls off, it's going to be a quick bye-bye, like Marshawn Lynch almost.
Yeah.
Where he went from just being an absolute beast to just,
He's just going to turn into a giant fullback. He's just not going to be able to get anywhere.
Because after a while, like, I mean, how much acceleration you get when you take that much punishment? Tannehill, though, I'm surprised about. I mean, the loss to Jonnu Smith, did they expect the team to be more conservative? I mean, remember, we have an extra game.
I think they're thinking there's going to be more run heavy.
All right. Well, I like I like the Henry one, but I think I like the Tannehill one more. Which, if you only had to choose one, which one would you choose?
I'm just taking Derrick Henry. Give me the guy that showed
We're opposite on almost everything. All right. So, but we lead a couple overs there. Anything else about the Tennessee Titans before we move on to the Colts?
The only other thing I'd bet is, other than them to win that division, is kind of almost a hedge on that bet. FanDuel you can bet the AFC wildcard teams, and all this team has to do is get one of those 3 wildcard spots. The Titans are plus 450. So for some reason, the Colts do come in.
If they win the division, you lose the bet, though, right?
Yeah, because then they're coming in as the division winner.
So you're basically betting them to be second in the division at plus 450?
Yeah.
I was going to say no, but those odds come out to like 18 or 17%.
Seems what's this? Yeah, what's to say like them and the Colts aren't? What's to say them and the Colts aren't like neck and neck till like week 15, and then the Colts get one game up on them?
Yeah, it seems like the Colts are 30 to 40% to win, the Titans are 30-40% to win, and then the other two are 10%, right?
Yep,
15%. That's not a bad bet, Tyler.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to hedge them winning the division. But other than that, I got no futures on Tennessee.
That's a good bet, though. I like the way that you're thinking there. Let's jump into the Indianapolis Colts. Same number, 9.5. Different questions, however. I do believe this Colts defense is going to be real good. I don't think we have questions about it. My questions are on the quarterback and the offensive line. Carson Wentz injured. If originally he's supposed to be out to like week 9 or week 10, now he's gearing up to play week 1, Tyler. I mean, that's quite the switch. So give me some of whatever he's taking. And then Quentin Nelson, another one. He will be out. I don't think he's going to make a miraculous return.
Well,
Am I right?
they said they're all three on track to play week 1. Quentin Nelson, Ryan Kelly, and Carson Wentz.
Who are their doctors?
I'm asking the same question.
I want to go to those doctors.
LeBron's probably asking that question too. He's probably like, I'm getting those doctors on my staff.
All right. So let's see. Best doctors in the AFC South. I think we can say that. A quick look at this team. Carson Wentz most likely will start. If not, though, it's going to be Jacob Eason or Sam Ellinger. Brett Hundley's fourth. Probably they won't carry all four.
Yeah, he's getting cut. He was only picked up because Wentz got hurt.
Yeah. Then we got Taylor, JJ's favorite guy, who honestly I hear has improved.
Yeah,
he looks good in camp.
He looked bad to start the year last year, and it was like, kind of told you so on taking running backs with tons of miles on their legs, and then he just slowly turned into like a star.
And it's weird too, because usually you either hit the hole or you don't. It's not like something you learn.
Yeah,
but we watched
him run right into the back of his offensive lineman for 5 weeks in a row,
and then all of a sudden,
there's the hole. I'm going to run right through it.
It's like on Madden, like when you just like add like 15 to a guy's vision or awareness or whatever, all of a sudden. But it's just so weird for it to happen, in the middle of the season like that. But I guess with the rookie, it's not as weird. With the third-year player, I'd be absolutely floored. Marlon Mack, great backup, and Naheem Hines, who was actually pretty effective when he did get a chance. So good running back room. But hey, it's easy to look good behind this line. But they did lose another guy, right? Because I see Will Holden here as a left tackle. Who was the big name? What was his name? Costanzo?
Costanzo.
Yeah, he's gone. Are you worried about the line at all?
Not really. I mean, You still have Ryan Kelly. You still have Quentin Nelson. You picked up Eric Fisher. I mean, they're still going to be a top 3 offensive line in the league when they're healthy.
All right. And then a pretty good receiving core, too, I would say, with T.Y. Hilton, Michael Pittman, Zach Pascal. You got Paris Campbell and Ashton Doolin as the backups, tight ends, Jack Doyle and Mo Alley Cox, who looked pretty good last year and then kind of regressed there. Real good defense, of course. I won't go over all the names. Kwity Paye is the rookie, and I heard he's doing really well. Darius Leonard, if you run a fantasy league where they do tackles,
that's your
he's
guy.
An absolute machine. Xavier Rhodes, his second year in the system, should do a little better. Rock Ya-Sin, a guy I really liked out of the draft. I'm surprised that he hasn't snatched a starting spot over Kenny Moore, but he hasn't. He'll be in the slot with TJ Carey as the dime back. Pretty good defense. What do you think of this team, the defense, Tyler, and overall this 9.5?
I think the defense is solid until you get to the safety positions. I'm not real big on their safeties. I think they can improve there a bit, but we'll see what they do in next year's draft or next year's free agency. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, front 7, they're stacked. I mean,
I think safety is also a position that you can get away with kind of being mediocre.
When your defense is built like this, I think so too.
Yeah.
I mean, you're using Darius Leonard as almost your quarterback in the middle on defense. He's controlling everything. As long as he stays healthy.
And if you get the pass rush, the safeties aren't needed.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this defense looks like it's going to just chug along. Right. I think they'll be looking good. I think Kwity Paye could get up into that Rookie of the Year conversation. My only worry is they said they've been bouncing him around positions on the defense. Uh-huh. Usually that spells to where he's going to have a couple games where he's like stutters and has a couple dud games. You can't have that when you're trying to win Rookie of the Year.
Exactly, yeah. I think that he's nice at a long shot, but you got to give me more than 20 to 1. Do you have a number?
I don't even think he's that.
If it's less than 20 to 1, I don't think
I think he's like 7 to 1.
No way. No way. That's not good value. All right, let's go through the schedule. Let's see how many we disagree on this one.
Yeah, Kwity Paye plus 950.
Yeah, there's no value there. I mean, you can make the bet and it can win. I just don't think that's a good bet.
Yeah, here's schedule.
I'm not saying he can't win it.
Let's see. They have the... Where's their schedule at on the strength of schedule list? They're 23rd, so they have an easier schedule than the Titans. They start the year at home with Seattle.
Seattle's not that good on the road. Let's give them the win.
Yeah, so 1-0. Mm-hmm. Home for the Rams. I'll go 1-1 there.
Yeah, I mean, but let's make sure we go the other way then, because I think it's a toss-up.
Yeah, I think it's a coin flip game, especially with the Rams losing all their running backs.
Yeah.
And then they go to Tennessee.
We had them split, so
so they're 1-2 at Miami, I'm going 1-3 because that's still going to be like 9,000 degrees in Miami at that
Yeah,
point of the
Miami's
year.
really good at home in September.
Yeah. Home for at Baltimore on Monday night. So that's
lose that.
1-4.
Wow. For a great team, that's a terrible start.
Home for Houston, so 2-4.
Yeah, that's so easy.
At San Francisco.
What do you think that Houston line will be? I think it's going to be between like 14 and 17.
I think it'll be 9.5, 10.
Okay.
Yeah, at San Francisco, that's another loss.
Who's going to be the quarterback of your favorite team?
October 24th, I mean, that'll probably still be Jimmy G.
You got to come out here, Tyler. They're going to love you. All my buddies, all these Niner fans are going to absolutely love you.
They'll really love me after the season when they're holding up their Super Bowl trophy.
All right, well, we'll fly you out for that if it happens.
All right, and then after the San Fran game, they come home to play Tennessee. We said they were splitting, so they get that game.
So they get that one.
The Jets on Thursday night, they'll get that game.
Is it in New York?
No, it's in Indianapolis.
Yeah, easy one. They'll probably be like 7-point favorites.
Home for Jacksonville, they win that game.
They win that, yeah.
At Buffalo, that's a loss.
Mm-hmm.
Home for Tampa Bay, loss. At Houston, they win that game. They come home and play New England after their bye week. I think they probably win that game too on the defense.
Yeah, let's give them that one.
At Arizona on a Saturday. So that's a weird week, you would think.
I still think they win that because by that time of year, like Chris Trevor is going to be their starting quarterback.
Very true.
Kyler Murray will be destroyed.
Home for Vegas, they win that game. And then at Jacksonville, they win that game.
Okay, so basically, if you're going to bet Indy, why don't you not wait championship or anything? Wait till like what we say week 5? We started them 1-4, right?
Yeah, wait till week 5 when they play Houston. Just let them get those first 4 games out of the way. Seattle, Rams, Tennessee, Miami, and Baltimore.
Okay. We started them 1-4. What did we end up having them?
Or 1-4, then they lose to San Francisco 1-5, beat Tennessee 2-5, beat the Jets, beat Jacksonville. So that's 4-5. At Buffalo and Tampa are losses 4-6. Houston, New England, and then they finish off the year. Houston, New England, Arizona, Las Vegas, Jacksonville, all wins. So that's what.
So week 12 or week 13, that's when you buy all your Colts futures.
Yep.
Because they're going to look like crap. They're going to look like crap after 5 weeks.
Yeah, they're going to be down in the dumps.
Yeah. All right, that's wonderful. So, hey, I think we get a little Tennessee now, and then we grab some Colts in season.
I like that.
And we'll grab them to win the division. And then depending on how the rest of the AFC works, we can grab some to make the conference title game. I don't know if I want to take them to win the whole AFC, though. Do you?
The Colts? No. I think the AFC is a 2-team race right now. And everyone's going to say, what about the Bills? What about the Bills? They still have no running back. Their running back is Josh Allen.
No, Zach Moss is good.
He's all right, but we didn't see anything last year. They had no running game.
He looked good towards the end of the year. He was good in the last 4 or 5 games.
Yeah, but he wasn't putting up numbers to where you could just be like, all right, we're just going to run our running back this game and just chew clock.
Yeah, I think he'll do that this year. But regardless, the point is for the Indianapolis Colts, don't buy in right now. They're gonna get slaughtered at the beginning of the season. If you want to get them to win the division, if you want to get them to make the playoffs, if you want to get them to do anything,
come in week 5.
Week 5 is the time to do it. So thank you, Tyler. And that's why we go through the schedule, and that's why we do these things, because we can grab some Tennessee love right now, and then that's gonna be good. We can even leverage it. Wonderful. All right, give me some props for this team. What are you thinking here? Carson Wentz, I don't think you can bet it, right? Unless you're just betting under and you're being a hater, but even then.
There's not even numbers up for him right now with the injuries going on. Okay. So, fair. I mean, can't really project anything for him.
I wouldn't say that you'd be able to make an edge bet anyways, right?
Like, yeah.
What would you say your edge is? I mean,
yeah,
with the under.
It's like, oh, he's in Frank Reich's system. He's going to play good again. That's about your edge, and that's it.
Yeah, or that he just won't make it through the year, so I'm going to just blind bet the under and just assume he's only going to play 8 to 10 games.
Yeah, I mean, other than that, I really got nothing on this team's props because, I mean, the receivers should keep chugging along even if with Eason and Ellinger in there because Eason has a cannon arm. But
where did he go to school?
He was one of the Washington guys.
I think that's where I know him from.
Yeah, he transferred into
Browning
Washington.
Was a better prospect
Yep.
Browning on the Vikings, but Eason actually is better, and he's like the big, like in the '80s he would have been a first round pick.
Yep.
Yeah,
See, Otter's in
because
the
he's got a
chat. He
huge
knows who the
arm.
team is in the AFC that could challenge the Chiefs.
Oh my God, you guys and your Baker Mayfield love. Unbelievable. Well, at least I know that State Farm is going to be loving you guys. All right. So that's it for the Colts then, right? Anything else you want on the Colts before we go on?
Nope, that's it. I
All
got
right.
nothing else on them.
Cool. I mean, I think we really identified it though. Hey, no reason to tie up your money here. And hey, won't that be funny if they start out like 3-2 or something, right?
Yeah.
We'll go ahead and eat our
They
words.
start out
And,
5-0.
yeah, we'll put this video up and we'll do the whole stuff. But I don't think that's going to happen. Let's go on to the team that is projected to finish third. Now, Tyler, I told you a fun little story. I just this is more. So I wanted to bet the Jaguars season win total over. It's 6.5, right? So one day I go to do it. It rejects the bet 3 times in a row, and it's not because like, hey, you're betting over your max or, the site is just messing up. I said maybe this is a sign, right? I'm just keep an eye on this. I'm not going to place this bet. Everything I'm seeing was that I saw a good sign because Travis Etienne's out today. They got absolutely blasted in preseason, right? I mean, they didn't even look close. So, is Urban Meyer Pete Carroll, or is he who I'm worried that he's gonna be? Is he Nick Saban, and is he a guy that's good at creating accountability, good at recruiting top level players, and good at getting the most out of them? But is he able to win when he has the same amount or less talent? I don't know. And I've been very disappointed in what I've seen so far. I'm glad that bet rejected. What do you think of the Jacksonville Jaguars?
I think they could be all right. I want to see something from that game last night.
I mean, they got smoked.
I mean, they got smoked, but
like, what could you take away good from that game?
They actually didn't get smoked. They lost the game by 2.
Wait, what?
Yeah, they lost the game by 2.
Weren't they down like 35-3 at one point?
No, the game finished 23-21, and both of Winston's touchdowns were 30-plus yarders, like deep passes. The one was almost a 60-yarder.
I'm sorry, I got confused with a different game then.
Yes.
My apologies.
All good. But I mean, I think they're a little better than you were giving them in that little breakdown.
No, I mean, I 2 weeks ago I thought they were better too, but it was just like when I went to go read all these camp reports, it just didn't seem good.
I think they'll get it together. I mean, Trevor Lawrence looked good yesterday.
Yeah, I think
for the most part, I think he only had 3 incompletions. He threw for like $180. Now he didn't get into the end zone, but it is what it is. It's preseason. I think they're saving a little bit of their schemes for a regular season too, because why run all your plays and show your hand in preseason just to pick up a win? It doesn't matter. So I mean, I think Trevor Lawrence will step in. Good.
I was just gonna have you help me with this defensive roster because, to be honest, I didn't watch a lot of Jaguars last year, so you will probably know these players better just from watching them in college. We'll do the offense really quick though, but I don't think the offense is necessarily going to be an issue. If you were to point to an issue on this offense, it would be the line, right? Because I think
it's the offensive line,
right?
James Robinson's going to be in that Joe Burrow role of snap the ball. You got about a half a second before you got to roll out, and then it's time to run around to the side and try and find somebody open.
Yeah. But I trust him to do it a little more, right?
Yeah.
Than Joe. As good as Joe was, right? I mean, even just going off the college tape, I thought Lawrence's was better here. Chark, Marvin Jones, Chenault. Not a bad crew to throw to, right? Good running backs, good wide receivers. Not the best tight ends. We can work around that. If they give these guys some protection, I think they're going to put up between 20 to 25 a game. Is that crazy?
Yeah, I agree there. I mean, who needs a tight end when you got Laviska Shenault? I mean, the dude's going to be in the middle of the field the whole game. That's going to be Trevor Lawrence's guy. He's going to hit him all year. So, I mean, Shenault receptions props until that number gets to like 5.5 are going to be a bet like every game.
Okay, cool. That's good to know. So we're already giving some people ways that we're going to go with the betting. Just quick question in the chat from our guy Kenny. Etienne, from what I read, is out for the season.
Yeah, he tore ligaments in his foot. I think it was Liz Frank.
Yeah, it's not that's not fun. Now, help me with this defense, Tyler, because I think this is going to be the key. Can Urban Meyer get these guys to be at least respectable? The line, they run a 3-4. Their front three are Malcolm Brown, Devon Hamilton, and Roy Robertson Harris. What do I think of these guys, Tyler? I don't know a lot about them.
I mean, they'll get you some pressure. They're not like, and nobody's a stud on that defensive line.
Yeah. I mean,
Like
it's not
your
like the
first,
days when they had Calais Campbell and Ngakwe, right?
yeah, your first stud comes up next in the offense or in the linebacker core. There's
That's our
actually
guy,
two of
Miles
them.
Jack, right?
Nope, Josh Allen.
Okay, cool. And I like Miles Jack
Well,
too,
there's
right? I mean,
both of them are studs. That was just the
yeah.
first one on the list was Allen.
I think the linebacker core is good. I even think this Chason guy's pretty good. And Damian Wilson's the only one I'm not familiar with. But
Yep.
I've seen positive grades on PFF for all three of these guys here in the linebacking core. That seems to be the strength of the defense. The issue here is, though, isn't if I were to have a strength, isn't linebacker the worst one? When I rather have a really good defensive line or a really good secondary?
Yeah, I mean, I think their weakness here is their defensive line. Would you agree?
I mean, I'm gonna go incomplete because I don't know them well enough. The only one I know is Shaquille Griffin, who's from the Seahawks, right?
Yeah, Shaquille Griffin. They
So
picked up
who's this
Sidney
Sidney
Jones.
Is he good? Where's he from?
He picked them up from Philly. He's all right.
Okay, if he came from Philly, my guess is he's not very good because they had some of the worst secondary play I've ever seen.
Yeah, he was one of the guys that was hurt most of the year.
Okay, well, so now we got an injury-prone guy that's not very good. That's not helpful. And Gerard Wilson, Rashawn Jenkins, how should I be rating these guys?
I mean, I think they're pretty good ball hawks. That's the thing about this secondary is like none of these guys are like, oh, they're coverage lockdown. You could drop them into the box and
Nobody's
blitz.
like that anymore.
This secondary is literally built to get interceptions. All
And
these
that's how
guys
you
can
should
ball
be.
hawk. Like
Well, I'm
that's
encouraged
all
by
they're
that
built for.
because that's how you should be. Because you can't just lock a team down anymore. It's not 1985, right? Even the '85 Bears under these rules would give up a lot of points.
I
Okay,
agree.
because they get roughing the passer and they get the wide receiver penalties left and right. So there's no more shutdown. So you're better off getting the turnovers, right?
Yep. They went and picked up Tyson Campbell in the draft too. There's like a
I
cornerback
like
safety hybrid.
I like
So
him.
they'll bump him back and forth back there.
Yeah.
I think their secondary is going to cause a lot of turnovers.
Well, hey, if that linebacking core can augment the defensive line, Kenny said, that's a tough game to judge last night because the Saints are a really good team all
Yeah.
across the board, and we'll be getting to them later this show. So, all right, Tyler. So talent wise, if you were to rate this roster, where would you put it? 16, or am I being too 16th best roster defensively in the NFL, or did I make them too high?
I'd say they're in the 20s. Maybe the high 20s, like 23 to 20, but I wouldn't put them any higher than that right now. We still got to see it on the field.
Now, do you believe that Urban Meyer can scheme this below average level of talent to be an above average defense?
I think
is he
so.
that good a coach?
I think so. I mean, every year he's coached a team. He's had a winning record in the first year. Now, this is the NFL to college football, but we've seen a lot of college football being implemented into the NFL these last couple of years.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what better coach to make it work?
Yeah, and some of these guys who fail, like Spurrier, right? It's a work ethic thing, right?
Yeah.
I don't
like everyone always wants to bring
Urban.
up Chip Kelly. It's like, well, they gave Chip Kelly the keys to the kingdom. They let him do whatever he wanted. He traded his whole offense that was supposed to be like Oregon and Philly and brought in DeMarco Murray, who can't move.
And Chip Kelly's college resume is like 1/10 of what Urban Meyer did.
Exactly.
Chip Kelly won one nice little program in Oregon for like 2 years. Urban Meyer turned around 4 different programs. Now, granted, by the time he got to Ohio State, that's a pretty.
He kind of was gifted. Yeah, he was kind of gifted Ohio State.
It doesn't matter. Look what Harbaugh did in Michigan, though, right?
Yeah.
So, all right. With that being said, anything more on this roster before we jump into the games? And maybe, Tyler, maybe you can talk me into placing that over again because I want the Jaguars to be good. I think it would be fun. I like Trevor Lawrence. I know that some people don't like Urban Meyer because of everything that's going on. I personally like the guy. I think he's a great competitor. I liked watching him on TV. And as far as like cheating in college football, like, are you serious? Like, whoop-de-doo.
Yeah.
It's not like he's out here like, selling drugs to teenagers, right? Or beating up women or things that are really things that I think are problems in society, right? Cheat on a college football game, right? I almost think that you should do that. I almost think it's like moral and ethical that you should be trying your hardest when you're paid that much.
All right, baseball fan over there, spread.
Oh yeah, we got that. I'm wearing the A's hat. All right, let's go through the schedule. What do we got?
I mean, they had the 18th hardest schedule. That win total 6.5.
Yep.
They start the year at Houston. So they're 1-0.
1-0. Let's do it.
Home for Denver. I think they could beat Drew Lock if Drew Lock's under center because I think he would throw a couple picks in that game.
All right, let's give it to them, but let's give them the loss on the next one that flips
Okay.
because I think that's going to be. What do you think that's going to be lined at? I bet you it's going to be like Jacksonville -2.
I bet you too. I think it depends on how
Like
week
I'm a
one
little
goes,
bit for
but
home.
yeah.
Yeah.
Home for Arizona week 3.
I think they can win that.
Yeah, we'll go 2-1 there.
Okay.
At Cincinnati on a Thursday night, 2-2.
Nah, they beat the Bengals.
At Cincinnati on a Thursday night, though. I mean, we talk about Thursday night and home
I
games.
know. All right, fine. Give them the loss, but if they get anything more than 3.5 points during that game, I'm gonna bet Jacksonville that game.
I agree.
Bengals are terrible.
Home for Tennessee.
Yeah.
So I think that's a loss.
Yeah.
So what's that? 2 and 3
Mhm.
versus Miami in London. Now Jacksonville's played in London multiple times in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
If anybody's going to call a London game a home game, I think it's Jacksonville.
Yeah.
I think they win that game.
All right, let's give them to that because we were kind of harsh on them earlier.
3-3.
Okay.
Then they go their bye week at Seattle, 3-4.
Yeah, they'll lose that.
Home for Buffalo, 3-5.
Especially because that trip back to Seattle, I mean, that's just terrible.
Yeah, that's going to be a rough one.
Mm-hmm.
At Indy in the Dome, 3-6, I'd say.
They lose at that one, yeah.
Home for San Francisco, 3-7.
They still have the best quarterback on the field.
Home for Atlanta, 4-7.
Oh, and all right, I like that.
At the Rams, 4-8.
Yeah.
At Tennessee, 4-9. Home for Houston, 5-9.
We're getting there.
At the Jets, 6-9. At New England, I'd say 6-10.
6-10. They're not winning in New England in December.
Home to finish
a Florida
up the year.
team in New England in December. Yeah.
Home to finish up the year, Indianapolis.
See, and that's why I couldn't make the bet.
I see 6-11.
Yeah. There's not an edge bet in there over.
Yeah, I think 6 games is a great step up for them after only winning 1 game. But you just can't bet their win total at 6.5.
Yeah, I think it's a fair line. That's probably the best line that we've talked about so far on this show today. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So, all right. Any props for these young men? Trevor Lawrence props? Are we going under here? Do you think maybe the hype has let everyone forget that, hey, even Peyton Manning had a crappy rookie year?
I mean, his number's 4,000. It kind of seems a little low when you had 17 games.
Do you think so? And you're going to be behind a ton.
Yeah, you're going to be behind. You're going to be throwing the ball a ton.
I still wouldn't bet it's over, though.
Yeah, I wouldn't bet it, but if you made me pick one on this team, it'd be him on the over.
Okay.
I think he could still win Rookie of the Year. I think he's almost like a dead nut lock to be in the top 3 for Offensive Rookie of the Year at the end of the year.
Yeah, I mean, barring injury,
Barring injury, he's going to throw for at least 3,800 yards. 25 touchdowns.
There's only 3 rookie quarterbacks that we know are starting, right? Zach Wilson.
There's only 2.
Oh yeah,
it's only him and Zach Wilson. The other Trey Lance is still like up in the air. Well, Mac Jones is like leaning towards he's probably going to start, but I think if Cam gets healthy and out of COVID protocol by week 1, he'll be there.
So let's go through this scenario. Mac Jones throws for 3,200, but the Patriots are like 11-6. Trevor Lawrence throws for 4,200, but the Jaguars are 5-12. Who do you think gets it?
I think there's a good chance Lawrence still gets it because ESPN will just blow him. Yeah. But Mac with that record,
anyone that does good in New England's gonna get,
Yeah. So. The only problem there too is like if we're making that case, what happens if Trey Lance steals the job by week 3 and they go 12-4 or 12-5? That's his to lose at that point then.
Yeah, I'd agree. Okay. So I don't think there's any value on betting him a Rookie of the Year.
I mean, I disagree there. I think 3.5 to 1's worth a shot on Lawrence. And then you just play it by ear.
But see, I'm thinking he's like 33%. It's a small edge compared to like the other ones you're getting.
Yeah, but the other ones are not like the number 1 pick rolling in, guaranteed the starting job.
I'm just saying, like, if I'm locking my money up for this long, I like that Titans edge where it's like a plus 450 on something, that I think has like a 33% chance or something, you
No,
know?
I hear you.
I mean, I want these huge edges because I don't want to just sit there and go, hey, I won my bet, but actually I would have made more if I just had it sit in Bitcoin. I shouldn't
Yeah,
even withdraw it in the first place, you know?
I hear
So
you, but
that's
I
where it
think
goes on those futures. I want to
I'd
have
bet
a
them.
big edge on futures.
I'd bet them at 3-1 or 3.5-1, and
Okay.
then you just wait on the news from Fields or Trey Lance to hedge that bet.
I don't think Fields is going to get it regardless.
Well, if he gets the job by week 2,
It doesn't
Chicago
matter
wins.
because they're not going to have the win loss record.
I mean, they could. That defense is still legit.
Okay, that's fair. All right, I just don't see Fields getting it. I think, well, maybe you're right. He probably is going to be in there week 2. I would say Fields gets the job before Lance.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, because I don't think Garoppolo is going to give the job away that easily. Like, regardless, I know that Lance's highlights are awesome, but every day, like, because I follow the beat writers and they talk about it, like when I was driving around doing my errands, I actually listen to talk radio, even though JSU hates that about me. Um, Garoppolo's actual completion numbers are better still in practice. You know, like Lance has the great throws, Lance gets the team hype, but Garoppolo's still going like 22 of 27 and marching the guys down the field. Um, the one they were saying that they say the way Garoppolo loses his job, you know, listening to the beat writers when they were on the radio today, was that if interceptions and that Kyle will just rage pull him
Yep, he's
if
just gonna
Jimmy
be like,
G
get out
drops
of
like
there. That's what he
2 and
did in
3
that
series.
preseason game.
Yeah,
Jimmy
yeah.
G drove the ball on the field, threw a pick. You seen Trey Lance instantly.
Yeah. So I mean that's but Jimmy G's got to know that, right? So he's going to turn into Alex Smith if I was him. If I
Yep.
know interceptions are the only thing that get me pulled.
Did you see Trey Lance's interview when they asked him about like the starting job? And
Mm-mm.
he's like, nah, I'm not going to talk about that. We'll leave that to coach and everything. And they were like,
Mm-hmm.
well, this is similar to your year at North Dakota State with Easton Stick.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, nah, Easton Stick was like top 5 in passing yards that year. He won the FBS championship. Like, this is a whole different like scenario. And it's like, oh, you're basically calling Jimmy G like a check down guy. You could take his job easily. It's a lot harder to take the job from the guy that just won the championship.
The funny thing though about the NFL is it's a wins and loss business,
Yep.
and Jimmy G's stats are average until you get to that winning percentage.
Yep.
Then it's still pretty damn good. But here's the thing for me: if I know we're supposed to be doing the South, so we're going to go to the Texans as soon as we're done with this. I don't think Jimmy G makes it through a season anyway, so I think you just start him and wait till he gets hurt, and then you
Yep.
just throw in Trey Lance, and then there's not even an issue with the team. You know, I mean,
I
there's
could even see him trying to run some of those Baltimore plays from Lamar Jackson's rookie year,
yeah,
where they bring him in for one play and
yeah.
they line up Jimmy G as a receiver.
All right. For those of you who are wondering why we're talking about this, is because we're referring to AFC South quarterback Trevor Lawrence's chances of Rookie of the Year. So we're talking about the prospects for some of the other quarterbacks. Tyler thinks that it's a good number at 3.5 to 1. I'm greedy. I want a little more edge, so I am going to lay off of that one. Anything more on the Jaguars before we go into the biggest dumpster fire in the NFL? Why isn't Hard
The,
Knocks in Houston?
the only other thing is, just before we get into that dumpster fire, because we pretty much know they're going to be 4th in that division. You could bet exact finishing spot, Jacksonville plus 120 to finish 3rd in this division.
Oh,
I think that's pretty much locked in, unless like they overachieve and pass up one of the other 2 teams.
yeah, I'd say it's over 50%, and you're getting plus money.
I think that's worth a shot.
Yeah, because they're not finishing 4th.
Nope.
unless
They're not finishing 4th, and unless something
that
gets hurt in
Kardashian
one of
lawyer
the other
rises
2
from the
teams,
dead to get Deshaun Watson off, right? I mean,
or Davis Mills turns into like Patrick Mahomes.
yeah. So I don't think either of those are happening. All right, Tyler, always coming up with the good props. I actually like that better than Trevor Lawrence. I feel a little safer on that one.
Yeah.
Locking my money up. Now let's talk about the most terrible team in the NFL, the Houston Texans, and Tyrod Taylor. Best receiver, Brandon Cooks, not too impressive. Philip Lindsay, hey, he's not a back. Mark Ingram, okay, whatever. David Johnson, 3rd on the depth chart, even though they gave up DeAndre Hopkins to get him. What an organization here. Chris Conley, Kute, I mean, guy's got no weapons. I don't really know how good the line is. I mean, I know Tunsil's good.
That's our best player. Tunsil.
Justin Britt's pretty good. And then this defense is just pretty terrible. What do you have to say about the Texans?
I mean, this team's going to be bad.
Okay.
Hey, their win total is 4.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a little high.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I guess you got to kind of give them some respect. They are a
Because
professional
if Watson
team.
comes back,
I don't think he's coming back though. I mean, he's even said he's never playing another snap for Houston.
but he showed up to camp.
He had no choice. You get
Well,
fined
he had a
$50,000 a
choice.
day.
He had a choice.
If you want fined $50,000
I mean,
a
Carson
day.
Palmer said, "I'm never playing for the Bengals again," and didn't show up.
Yeah, that was before all the rules were implemented, where you get fined daily for $50,000 if you don't show up to practice.
Yeah.
I mean, we seen Aaron Rodgers show up to practice.
Yeah.
To do one of the holdouts. So the whole holdout thing's gone with that new rule in there.
All right. Well, I don't want to be rude, and I know our guy DB Gnarly's, a real big fan. So, apologies, my man, but let's just get straight to the schedule. I mean, what's there really to say?
Yeah, I was about to say we got nothing.
I mean,
really.
Bill O'Brien mortgaged their future, and he went all in and he lost, and now all their chips are gone. So they got to go work a job and get some money so they can get back on the table, and that's what these next 2 or 3 years are going to be because they have no draft assets. They have no way to fix this issue. So, and Deshaun Watson was one of my favorite players, and what's going on there is just disheartening. So, let's just go to the schedule, give them 17 L's, and then we'll move on to the NFC.
Yeah, this ought to be fun.
Yeah.
Home for Jacksonville, loss. At Cleveland, blowout loss. Carolina on a Thursday night, loss.
Mm-hmm.
At Buffalo, loss.
Mm-hmm.
Home for New England, loss. At Indy, loss. At Arizona, loss. Home for the Rams, loss. At Miami. I mean, this schedule's tough, too. At Miami, loss. Bye week. At Tennessee, loss. Here's the one game I think they can win.
That's
Home
it.
for the Jets.
Yeah. All right.
We'll give them one.
So and teams are going to overlook them too, right? I mean, we're saying loss on everyone, but dude, how many teams are going to be like, we're playing Houston this week, bro?
Yeah.
Like, get all the girlfriends, get all the party favors. We don't need to do jack this week, right? We're not prepping for nothing, So they're going to get a couple. We're getting overlooked wins as well, but we just don't know what weeks those are. So we'll adjust for that at the end, but. What we're saying right now is they're going to be underdogs in every game by the point spread.
Oh, there's no doubt.
Maybe the Jets game they're -2, depending on what the Jets record is at that point. But I'll tell you what, I like the direction that Robert Saleh and that team is going a lot better in the direction.
I think the Jets
team.
are going to take that similar route that Miami took. Was that 2 years ago, where everyone thought Miami was going to be a dumpster fire, the worst team they've ever seen.
A good
coach. And Flores came in and he's like, "We're going to at least win 4 to 5 games." Like,
yeah,
I think Saleh is going to do that same thing.
Yeah. So, I mean, they could end up losing that one too.
Yep.
All right. So, I mean, do we do like the bet that Jay did last year? I mean, do you have props for them to go like 0-17?
I could check. I know for them to have the worst record.
What number would you need to bet it? I would say plus 500 or better. Just because teams are going to overlook them.
Yeah,
teams and it's still an NFL team, right?
And it's 17 games. I want nice odds on this.
Yeah, especially like who are they playing at the end of the year? Could they be sitting people?
The final 3 games are Chargers, at San Francisco, and home for Tennessee.
Yeah,
I think
that's
the only
3
team
chances that Houston's got number 1 pick locked up and the team they're playing, right? So they just go all out.
Yeah, but I think the only one that's going to be able to sit guys there would be San Francisco. The Chargers are still going to be chasing the Chiefs and the Browns, possibly the Bills too. And Tennessee could be in a dogfight for their division.
Yeah, but if Carson Wentz out by week 3, they could be sitting people as well. So
very true.
Or they could be locked into the wild card. Even Indy's better than they are, and they're just locked at number 6.
Here, let me see, because I only see worst regular season record right here.
And what's that number?
Plus 200.
How is that not minus 110?
Detroit's the next closest favorite.
Detroit's going to be way better than this team. Detroit's way better than this team. The only way that it's not is Deshaun comes back.
Yeah, I agree there.
Otter says they're going to lose on the bye week. All right, dude, that's enough for the Texans. Do you have any bets for this team, or can we just move on to the NFC?
Here, I got it right here. Teams to go 0-17. Texans plus 3,000.
Shut up.
Yeah, I think that's worth a shot.
All right, I'm sending you $100 when the show's over. All right. Anything else? That's the bet.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's that on that division.
Do you need some time to put that on the spreadsheet right now?
No, we'll put it.
That might be the best bet I've heard. I thought the Bengals under was good. All right, fantastic. Let's jump over to the NFC. This is a lot of fun, Tyler, and I hope the people watching are enjoying it as well. Remember, this is brought to you by RunPureBets.com. Head on over to Run Pure Bets for all the best in your sports gambling information needs. If you're not already a member, use the promo code BETS25 off to join Run Pure Bets and get access to Tyler, me, JJ, Joey Work, and the Sports Keg on a daily basis. Tyler, we're going to do the NFC South now. Let's see who Bookmaker has as Bookmaker logged me out as usual. Bookmaker, who do they have as the favorite to win this? The Saints?
I mean,
Or
seriously,
the
spread.
highest one? Oh, I'm sorry, the Bucks. I'm sorry.
So we're forgetting the goats in here.
I am. I forgot Zach Davis. I forgot Tom Brady. What's going on with me? Let's see. It's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 11.5, but it's minus 163 to the over. So I'm going to assume on most books you can get a 12 or a 12. To me, that even correlates to a 12.5 at even money. Let's talk about it as a 12.5 number because I wouldn't recommend laying minus 163 on anything, especially with the 43-year-old. I mean, I'm old, man. We can get taken out. Tyler, what do you think of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? They returned 22 starters. That's almost unheard of from a Super Bowl team.
Yeah, they pretty much returned everyone.
Yeah, going off the top of my head, I cannot think of another time that someone won the Super Bowl and did not just get completely poached by everybody else. So we're looking at a 12.5. Pretty much the same roster as last year, so I'm not going to take the time to go over it. I mean, everyone watched the Super Bowl. They know who's on this team. What are your thoughts on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and are they this good again? Tom Brady said, hey, we were just catching stride last year. Now we're the team that we're supposed to be. He thinks they're going to be even better this year.
I agree with him.
Yeah, I kind of do too.
I mean, you've seen in that, I think it was like week 14, they played Detroit. They were up almost 35-0 at halftime. Yeah. And from that point on, they never looked back.
Right.
I think you're going to see similar to that team this year. I mean, again, he had no offseason to get accustomed to these receivers.
Right.
Now he just had a whole offseason to get used to them. Now their routes are going to be even better. The defense is going to be even more chemistry-wise locked in. They picked up a great edge rusher in Joe Tyrone in the first round.
Yeah,
I mean,
I like him.
This team, I think 12.5 is a high number. They're going to pass that number up. I'm not willing to bet it, but I bet you they win like 14 games.
I agree with you. First of all, and to jump into a championship team, an edge rusher is almost one of the best things, right?
Oh, he's going to be able to just pin his ears back and just go.
He doesn't even have to come in on the first 2 downs.
Yep.
He can make an impact for this team playing third downs only. So fantastic draft pick. Great job by their GM because obviously he built the roster that made Brady want to come. And I think the one thing that you left out is I think the Arians and Brady kind of worked out that power struggle.
Yeah, right? That too.
Brady wanted to run the Dink and Duck McDaniels. Arians wanted to, what is it? No risk it, no biscuit.
Yeah, you got to get the ball on the field.
Mix. Yeah.
You play the yin and the yang and you make it work, and they did. I mean,
all right.
I was just saying the defense is just, I'd say it's going to be top 5 again. The offense will be there again. And I just think it's going to be tough to beat this team when the
injuries
NFC.
is the only thing that take this team out.
Yep.
Like the 49ers last year, right? Half their defense is on the injury.
I think that's the one team that could give them troubles is the 49ers. In the NFC.
I like the way they're set up. I do. Let's go through the schedule.
All right, schedule-wise, let's see. 29th easiest schedule in the league spread.
How do you get that as Super Bowl champion?
I don't know.
Well, amazing.
But here we go. Dallas on a Thursday night. Win. 1-0.
Is that to open the season?
Yep.
This will be a boring game.
Yeah. Atlanta, 2-0.
Mm-hmm.
At the Rams. Could be a weird game, but
let's give it to LA.
All right, so we'll go 2-1.
All right.
At New England.
Brady's gonna kick his ass.
Yeah, he is.
3-1 and lay the 10.
3-1 and lay the
line.
16.5.
Yeah.
Home for Miami.
Mm-hmm.
They win that one.
Yeah.
At Philadelphia on a Thursday night. There's another revenge game for Brady. They blow them out. Home for Chicago. He lost to them last year. Probably wants that one back. That's a win. At New Orleans, they beat them. At Washington, could be a rough one, but I think they prevail there.
Mm-hmm.
Giants on a Monday night. There's another team that Tom Brady could look at and just be like, yeah, I want this one back.
Mm-hmm.
Beats them.
Mm-hmm.
At Indianapolis, I'd say it's a win. At Atlanta, that's a win. Home for Buffalo. Could be a weird game, but I think they get that one. Home for New Orleans. I think they win that one. At Carolina and at the Jets, I think those are 2 wins, and you finish the season home for Carolina.
Yeah, I see an over.
I see
there.
1 loss.
Yeah.
With a couple games that they might lose, but
yeah,
I think 14 wins is definitely their floor.
All right. So Tyler, just like Tom Brady, I'm an old man. Bathroom is calling me right now. You break down the props. I'm gonna be back in like 30 seconds.
Gotcha. All right. So for props, I see Mike Evans is listed at 1,050.5 yards. Now he's won over 1,000 yards every year in this, I think the past 5 years. With the quarterbacks he's had in that time, I think that's definitely an over. Now, Brady's number set at 4,750. They could be running the ball a little bit more. So I'd probably lean under there, but just no bet on that. And we've talked about MVP bets with Tua and Baker Mayfield. I think Brady probably wins the MVP at 14-1. I think that's almost not a lock, but if they win 14 games and they're the 1 seed, I think he's definitely got a really good chance. It's a narrative-based award. They're going to want to hand it to the oldest MVP ever. I think that's definitely worth a shot. And then Defensive Player of the Year, a long shot here, Devin White, 45-1.
All right, I just got back. Quick. Devin White. Yeah, I mean, Devin White for what? A Defensive Player of the Year?
Yeah, 45-1. I think that's worth a long shot.
At those numbers, yeah.
And then I would
put like a 1/10 of a unit on it, right?
Right before you came back, I was saying we talked about a lot of MVP bets from Tua to Baker.
Yeah.
I think the winners in this division, and it's the old man, Tom Brady, at 14-1.
I mean,
it's a narrative-based
It's
a narrative-based award. They're going to win 14 games. As long as somebody doesn't blow the stats out of the water on a different team.
You need Mahomes to not throw for 5,000 yards.
I don't think he does. I think we've seen it last year. They get a lead, and they almost wanted to just run the ball, but they couldn't.
They should, because they need to stay healthy.
They couldn't run the ball last year behind that offensive line. I think this year
this line's good.
Yep, they'll be able to do it this year.
All right. So Tom Brady, MVP 14-1. And guys, and if Tyler puts these on the sheet, you're not going full unit on these, though, right?
I mean, probably not.
And I think the Devin White,
the Devin White one at 45-1, definitely a half unit.
Okay.
Now Brady MVP at 14-1, that might be a full unit play.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, that's why you got to be a member of RunPureBets.com to find out how the expert is going to divide his bankroll there. All right. Second in this division, according to Bookmaker, is going to be the New Orleans Saints.
Yep.
All right. They are at 9, minus 102. Under 9 on Bookmaker, minus 118. Hey, this you want to host a show? This is a pretty easy one to talk about. The quarterback. You went from Drew Brees, all-timer, Hall of Famer, protects the ball, makes the right decision. Now you got Mr. Gamble, Jameis Winston, 2 years ago throws for 5,000 yards, also led the league in interceptions. What do you make of this quarterback change, Tyler, and how do we rate the New Orleans Saints?
I mean, looking at this team, judging by you look at the depth chart.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Thomas is out the first couple weeks because he got surgery. And outside of running a slant route, the dude's not good.
Oh, come on.
They have Traquan Smith, Marquez Callaway, Juwan Johnson, Deontay Harris. None of those receivers blow you out of the water, but they're all fast.
No.
They all can get down the field quickly. Mm-hmm. And Winston throwing bombs, probably with these weapons, is a lot better than Breeze trying to noodle arm a slant to one of these guys that can't get separation.
Yeah, I would say Winston fits into the core of this team better, though.
Yeah, I think it could open up some holes for Kamara, too. Like, you get these receivers down the field, you get to dump off, all of a sudden he's in open field and he's making moves.
That's what I was going to say. So this is the key. If we can just get Winston to check down at the right times, drop like that, what was it, like 30-something interceptions that one year?
Yeah, he went 30 and 30. That was all in the same year, spread. He led the league in passing yards. He led the league in interceptions.
Yeah. Let's get that down to the teens. And you can potentially I mean, obviously the Bucks are going to be tough, but you're going to be in the playoffs, and you're going to be the team that nobody wants to face
Yeah, I could
because
see
you have a
that.
fantastic coach. I still think the defense is raw, right?
Their defense is still stacked.
Yeah, I mean, where's the weakness of this defense?
Maybe secondary.
Yeah, maybe. I think Malcolm Jenkins is a little old, but I think
Maybe the
Marcus Williams is
opposite.
so
Maybe
good.
the opposite corner of Marshawn Lattimore's their weakness.
Ken Crawley, okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Everybody's got a weak corner.
yeah, I'd say that's
Right?
probably their weak link is that side of the field. But
Yeah,
outside of that, I mean, this defense is stacked. Marcus Williams behind that guy too.
yeah.
I mean, good luck
All
with
right.
this defense.
Let's dive into this schedule because I'm really tempted with this number. I think that people are underrating Jameis Winston, and I think that there might be some value on this team. But let's talk it through, Tyler. Let's see where we end up at.
All right, they have the 22nd easiest schedule.
Okay.
Start off the year at home versus Green Bay. I think Green Bay gets that game because I think they take a second.
Aaron Rodgers sucks on the road.
I agree and disagree there because I don't trust Jameis Winston in his first regular
I don't
season
think you
game
need
win.
to. You can run on the Packers. This is the game that Jameis Winston goes 12 for 19 and you win the game.
Yeah,
And Kamara goes for 150. Or it's just all dump downs like the old Bill Walsh.
we just talked about trying to get him to dump down though. That's the only problem there.
I believe in Sean Payton. He's not on Mike Tomlin level as far as like mentoring my children, but I like Sean Payton a lot. All right,
Yes. So we split on that game. I think they lose that game. You think they win it?
let's give them the win there.
All right, so they're 1-0.
That's the one of all that we've disagreed about. I'm the most adamant about that one.
At Carolina, they win that game, so I'd go
Yeah,
2-0. At New England, they don't play well when they come north.
but I think that changes with Jameis though.
I mean, we'll see. Against that defense, though, that could be the game where he throws like 4 picks, and Sean Payton standing over there, and his face is as red as can get because he's ready to put Taysom Hill in.
Well, you gave me week 1, so I'll give you that one. We're at 2-1, right?
Yep, 2-1. Home for the Giants, 3-1.
Mhm.
At Washington, I'm going 3-2.
That's fine. I'll give you that.
I
We'll
think
err
that
on the side. Yeah.
Defenses that can get pressure on him are going to be defenses that cause him to throw picks.
And you can see him getting the picks. Yeah. And
Yep.
they've got the ball control style offense.
Then they go on their bye week at Seattle on a Monday night. That's another loss.
That's a loss.
Home for Tampa Bay. I count that as a loss. Home for Atlanta. They'll get that game.
Let's give them the win at home against Tampa.
I can't.
Didn't Jameis spank Brady last year when they played
No.
in week 1? Oh, no, that was the same. That was Breeze, though.
Yeah, that was Breeze.
But they spanked Tampa last year.
Till the playoffs.
I was on Tampa. Let's give them that game.
I mean, I guess so, but
We
I don't
gave
see
we
it
gave
happening.
them Washington and New England.
You got this team beating Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady with Jameis Winston
At
under
home.
center.
At home.
I don't see it. They could be playing at home in their living room. I still don't see it.
All right.
All right, then they go home. They play Atlanta at home. They win that one. At Tennessee, and they probably win that one too.
Okay.
At Philly, that's a win. Home for
I think we gave Tennessee a win there, though.
Did we?
I think we did.
All right, so we'll flip that. At Philadelphia, that's an easy win.
Mm-hmm.
Buffalo on a Thursday night.
Where?
Home.
Win.
This is a weird one. Back-to-back Thursday night games.
That's cool.
Home for Dallas on a Thursday night.
They'll win that game too.
At the Jets.
Win.
At Tampa. Loss. Miami on a Monday.
At where?
Home. Probably a win.
Yeah.
Home for Carolina. Win. And then at Atlanta. Win.
No, let's.
I don't think Atlanta's going to be all that.
Yeah, we'll get to Atlanta next. All right. So where do we have them?
Let's see. 1, 2, 3.
And you obviously had 2 less than me. Kenny's saying
10-7.
Kenny's saying the one thing we get wrong is Tampa Bay usually wins in New Orleans, and New Orleans wins in Tampa Bay. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
That's probably true, Kenny. But
my other worry too here with that early week game against Green Bay.
Mm-hmm.
New Orleans always starts slow.
Did they kick Tampa's ass to start the season last year?
Well, that was last year. Every year before that, like they played Winston. They were supposed to be like 6.5-point favorites, win the game. That was your survivor pool pick of the week 1, and they lost. They literally destroyed survivor pools like 3 years in a row before last year with week 1 losses.
Well, keep that in mind. Don't play them week 1 for your survivor. All right. Otter says Green Bay won that game last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I could be wrong. Maybe my brain says, well, since Aaron Rodgers 500 on the road, he never wins a road game. Maybe, obviously, I think that's the logical mistake I'm making. Just being 500 doesn't mean you lose every single game. But I love fading Rodgers on the road, especially if I'm grabbing points. All right. So that would give you 10. I don't think that's enough of an edge to bet. And we were... If you switch our games, right, like we go with all yours, then we go down to 8, right?
Yeah, we got down to 8.
You go up to 11. Doesn't seem like there's an edge here at all. Did you have props that you liked?
Not on this team. I mean, because this team is just so based on that quarterback.
Yeah.
Like, if he plays great, you could be looking at some props that go over, but if he goes in there and just stinks it up, like,
even Kamara's probably over screwed.
Yeah, because he's not going to be able to run the ball that much.
Yeah.
So it's like...
I agree.
The only thing I'd take a shot on here, if Winston does come out and look like a completely different player and they do win like 12 games, nope. Comeback player of the year, 15-1.
I mean, yeah, same thing. I was going NBA terms, but yeah.
Yeah.
Same thing, right?
Yeah, same thing.
I don't hate that, but I don't want to do it because you already gave us the winner during the NFC West show with that doctor.
The AFC West.
Yeah, so I'm not betting any comeback players except for that guy. So. But you're right. I mean, if he's a big time player, he can even steal it from Doogie Howser, MD, there over on the Chiefs. So, anything else on the New Orleans Saints before we move on?
Nope, that's it on them.
All right. By win total, let's see. The Atlanta Falcons 7.5. What do you think about the Atlanta Falcons, Tyler?
I think their offense could be really good. No, new coach, defense could be a little weird. What do they have?
Why did they get rid of Raheem Morris? Wasn't that weird?
I don't think it was as much as they got rid of him as he was like, I'll go be the Rams defensive coordinator. That's where he ended up.
Yeah. Wouldn't you rather be a head coach than a coordinator?
On a bad team, though, and you're probably like conference championship bound with the Rams, I'd probably take them.
All right. Sounds good. Yeah. I mean, looking at this, there's not a lot to get excited on the personnel, right?
Yeah, this is just one of those teams where, like, we could say they're going to be good, we could say they're going to be bad, but this is one of the teams I honestly said we have to wait and see with them.
I mean, what's your upside here? Matt Ryan's an awesome quarterback.
Yeah, he just picks it back up. He just drills Ridley with the ball all game.
To me, when I'm looking at this rosters, I see NFC Raiders.
I agree there, yeah.
I see a team that's going to...
Ton of points, no defense.
And they're going to get some victories over teams, and you're going to go, wow, they beat the Buccaneers. They beat the Packers. And then they're going to lose to terrible teams like the Texans or, like they just give me that Raiders vibe. Just looking at the personnel, they have a pretty good offense. Although I'll tell you what, I don't really like this receiving core. Am I missing something? Russell Gage, I mean, should I be impressed there? Zacchaeus, right? I mean, I'm sorry. I forgive my ignorance. I don't know him that well. Hayden Hurst, I like. Lee Smith's a blocking tight end. Kyle Pitts is he's gonna be a stud actually.
Yeah, he's gonna be a freak.
Yeah. Okay. All right, I guess that changes. If you say Pitts is your number 2, now this doesn't look too bad. I guess it doesn't blow me away though.
Yeah, it doesn't blow me away, but I mean, Calvin Ridley's like
really
set
good.
Up for a great season right here.
But is he going to suffer from the fact that he's going to get all the attention now?
I don't think so because we've seen him do it before with Julio out with injuries.
Julio only plays 6 games a year.
Exactly. This isn't a guy that this isn't like Juju where it's like, oh, he'll be great without AB, and then AB leaves, and it's like, oh yeah, he can't beat double coverage.
Yeah.
Like we've seen Ridley do it on his own when Julio's dealing with turf toe for 8 weeks in a row. So I think he'll be fine.
Have you ever had turf toe, Tyler?
No.
I don't even know what it is.
From what I heard, it's like
how do you get it?
Your toenail goes like grown into your skin, like.
Oh, that happened to me a couple times. Okay, cool.
So I could be wrong. Somebody could have told me the wrong one. the
I'm a
wrong
pretty tough guy
explanation
like
for it.
NFL players. All right. Yeah, I don't know what else there is to say about this team. I think the line looks like it can be all right, but that's been a weakness for this team, right? Because Matt Ryan's not a mobile guy, and if you don't give him time, he's pretty worthless.
Yeah, I'd agree there. And they don't, like, just dating back to the time they went to the Super Bowl, they had 2 running backs. Their running back this year
And
is going
that
to be Mike
defense was
Davis.
stacked.
Yeah, the defense was stacked. Now your running back's going to be Mike Davis, who's a catching back out of the backfield. You have no way to just
Mike Davis
dominate the
played for
run.
Carolina last year, right?
Yep. He was
He's like
the
literally like when you're doing wins above replacement, he's the replacement in my mind. Like he's
yeah.
your prototypical like 79 or 80 on Madden. Like I don't know what he is. I haven't bought the game yet. I almost bought it today. It was busy though.
It's probably like a 65 with the way they put out ratings.
Don't even get it started on 2K. But all right, you want to just jump into the schedule? This team really isn't too interesting to me. I think, like I said, they're gonna beat some teams that they shouldn't. They're going to get everyone's hopes up, and then they're going to lose to a bunch of crappy teams. I think, to me, NFC Raiders. That's what I got to say about the Falcons. Let's do the schedule, Tyler.
All right, so for the schedule, this team actually has the 30th easiest schedule in the league. So they could wrap up some wins that we don't see coming.
All right, let's see it.
Home for Philadelphia.
Win.
I'll give them, they're 1-0. At Tampa, 1-1.
Mm-hmm.
At the Giants, 1-2.
Okay.
Home for Washington, 1-3. Mm-hmm. Versus the Jets in London.
Coin flip.
Yeah, let's
give it to them.
Yeah.
Let's give it to them.
So it's at 2-3. Bye week at Miami, 2-4.
Loss.
Home for Carolina. I think they split with Carolina, so we'll go 3-5.
So let's go 1-1, yeah. All right, split with Carolina. Sounds fair.
At New Orleans, I'd go 3-6. At Dallas, 3-7. Just bet the over in that game.
That's going to land on like 65.
At home for New England on Thursday night.
Let's do it. Let's give the home team the win.
They're getting their revenge for their 28-3 loss.
Although, I mean, like, couldn't you see New England just running for like 200 yards and having like 46 minutes of like time of possession in that game?
Yeah, Mac Jones throws like 10 passes.
Yeah, they just like Cam Newton ran the whole game.
At Jacksonville.
We just did that. I think we gave Jacksonville the W there.
Yeah, I was about to say we gave them the game against who was it? The Jets. So we'll take the loss there against Jacksonville.
Okay.
Home for Tampa Bay, loss. At Carolina, loss. At San Fran, loss. Detroit,
the 30th easiest schedule.
Detroit, that's a win. At Buffalo, that's a loss. And then home for New Orleans, that's a loss.
How is that the 30th easiest schedule?
It's basing it off of opponents' win percentages from last year.
It must be based off like the fact that they barely travel too.
Yeah.
The only thing I could see about that schedule is there's not a lot of like crazy road trips, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's no one like there's no long
Seattle.
There's no long like 3-week trek of like you have to be on the road.
Yeah. All right, props for these Falcons. Now you seem like you're a big Calvin Ridley guy. Is that where you're looking here?
I think his yards are set at like 1,200. I'd probably bet that over. But one thing I'd just rather bet than that, it's more of a long shot. I think he's just going to get the ball thrown at him unless the ball is going to Pitts. Most regular season receiving yards, he's plus 1,000 to win that. The only two guys in front of him are Stephon Diggs and DeAndre Hopkins.
Okay.
Which you think one of those quarterbacks is getting hurt, and I have a weird feeling the other one's getting hurt.
Okay. Kyle Pitts, Rookie of the Year. Possible, or am I just being crazy?
I mean, it's possible.
Offensive rookie. I mean, yeah.
It's possible. I just think he'd have to just put up some ridiculous numbers. They would have to be good, too. You know what I mean?
He'd have to break records for a tight end, right?
Yeah, especially with the quarterbacks that we're going to play. Like, if Lawrence doesn't do that well, like, and Zach Wilson puts up a little bit better numbers, they're going to give it to him over a Kyle Pitts, you know what I mean? Or if one of the other guys steps in and takes the job over and does great. Yeah. These awards will always go to the quarterbacks first unless you get some ridiculous season from the other guys.
If I told you I thought he was going to be the most impactful offensive rookie, though, that's not a quarterback, would you say yes?
It's either him or Najee Harris.
Yeah.
I don't think you can pick
I
anyone
still
else.
think a tight end's worth more than a running back there, so that's why I'd say he's the most impact. Especially when, remember, when I was going over the last, I said this isn't very good, and then I go, oh, Kyle Pitts.
Yeah.
Never mind. If he's your number two,
Yeah,
it
but
makes everybody's job easier.
we couldn't run the ball for 15 yards total last year, so
Yeah,
he opens up the run game. The offense could look a little different.
it could. So, and I don't want to get into the Steelers, but Ben's got to allow people to go in motion some misdirection. But we're not talking about the Steelers. We are talking about the Falcons. We are not high on them, and we're not going to bet any props. Anything more about this team before we move on, Tyler?
Yeah, not really. I mean,
not really that exciting, huh?
Yeah, I'll say this is a wait and see team for me.
Yeah,
wait and see how they do first couple weeks, and then go from there on them.
Yeah, and so we went them third, but let's be fair. It's only by juice that the Panthers are actually no. Panthers are -120, so I should have done the Panthers. I did the wrong order, but it was 11 cents of juice separating them. 7.5 again is the total for this Carolina Panthers team. Matt Rule being the second year. Sam Darnold, the new quarterback. Christian McCaffrey. Hopefully, we get a full season from him. And other than that, not a lot of big name offseason moves, right? It seems like they did a lot of addition through the draft, right? No big free agent signings here, other than, of course, the addition of a new quarterback. But
they
what do
picked
you
up
think
some
of this
guys
team?
on defense that could help. They picked up AJ Bouye to play corner. They picked up Hassan Reddick. Yeah, they picked up Hassan Reddick, the man in the middle. Why is he so
low? What's he suspended for?
Who knows? Yeah, they picked up Hassan Reddick, the man in the middle from Arizona, and they picked up Denzel Perryman from the Chargers. A couple offensive linemen they picked up too out of the Jets in Dallas.
Okay.
So we'll see how they look, but I think they had a great draft too.
Yeah, I think they did too, and I think that's the way you build the team, because when it comes to free agency, right, it's like you have to be the top bidder, which means if everybody bids the fair market value, if you're the top bidder, you've already gone above market value. And you're not going to win a lot in this league with a bunch of players paying them more than they're worth market-wise. So I think they're doing things right. I think Matt Rule does have the equity, being the new coach, converting from college. It's not like he's expected to win a championship right off the bat. And I'm glad that he's not trying to do a bunch of quick fixes and building this team right. That being said, we're talking about this season, not the next 5 years. So what do you think of this number? Do we want to just go straight into the schedule, or before I even go through the schedule, did you have a lean on the over or under for 7?
I kind of lean over.
Okay.
I just love this coaching staff. I mean, Matt Rule,
I knew you would.
We seen what he did at Baylor. He turned them around, made them great. And the offensive coordinator is Joe Brady. And for anyone who doesn't know who that is,
the guy who did LSU to Burrow. Yep.
He was the Saints pass coordinator for a while when their offense was chugging along. Then he ended up in LSU for that year. Burrow just exploded, and now he's in Carolina. So, I mean, I'm willing to trust that guy after what we've seen him put together.
Yeah.
And looking at this offense, I mean, McCaffrey, they draft Chuba Hubbard to back him up, who's like a bowling ball.
Yeah, I like that. I like the contrast there.
Yep, DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, Keith Kirkwood, David Moore. I mean, I see a lot of guys that can get down the field and get wide open.
Yeah, and I don't know if you noticed, our guy Travis Mangone posted a picture of himself and Robbie Anderson.
I find it hilarious. Today. He has all these pictures with just different athletes and celebrities.
Yeah. And the great thing was he captioned, it's a good thing that Robbie Anderson took all the tips that I showed him.
Yeah, to get paid.
Into this new contract. So props out to our guy Travis Mangone. Hopefully he catches this video before the season starts. All right, Tyler, do you want to knock out the schedule, or did you have anything else about the roster you wanted to break down?
No, we'll bust out the schedule with them. There ain't much other to talk about. But looking at this schedule, they have the 26th easiest based on opponent win percentage. Start off the year at home versus the Jets, 1-0.
Yep.
Home for New Orleans, I'll go 1-1. At Houston on a Thursday night, I know we were favoring the home teams there, but I'm going 2-1.
Yeah. Houston's the exception that breaks the rule.
I'm going 2-1 there.
Okay.
At Dallas on a short week, I'll go 2-2 there. I think Dallas sneaks that one out.
All right.
Home for Philly, 3-2.
Yeah.
Home for Minnesota, we'll go 3-3.
No, Minnesota's terrible this year.
I think they'll be able to run the ball though. If their
quarterback's in like a cubicle.
Yeah, but if he's playing, they'll be fine.
He's been playing terribly. The
Yeah,
line
but this is
sucks.
Carolina we're talking about.
All
And,
right.
and it's a one
We'll
o'clock
give this
game.
one to you, but the next close one goes my way.
Gotcha.
All right.
So it's at 3-3. At the Giants, I go 3-4. At Atlanta,
You like the Giants this year.
their defense was tough to finish up last year, and they added a bunch of weapons.
I think that game closes Giants -2. So while we are giving it to the Giants and we're saying, hey, they're going to be favored, I mean, it's close to as a coin flip as you can get. But
Yep.
okay. I'm still fine with you give that to the Giants.
At Atlanta, I'm pretty sure we had them splitting, so they'll lose that one.
Yeah, Atlanta's pretty good in the Dome.
Home for New England, we had them winning that one.
In home, yeah, I like that.
At Arizona, bet the over.
Probably Cardinals. Cardinals.
Bet the over. The Cardinals probably win that game. Home for Washington.
Can you imagine you're the Cardinals, right? And you're going against the Seahawks, the Rams, the 49ers, right? and then the Falcons defense rolls into town.
Yep.
You're just like, someone put Madden on rookie because I'm about to throw 50 points up.
And then who's next? At Miami. That's probably a loss.
Probably.
Bye week, home for Atlanta. That's a win.
No. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because we had them losing at Atlanta. And then listen to this 4 to end the season. At Buffalo.
Loss.
Home for Tampa Bay.
Loss.
At New Orleans.
Loss.
At Tampa Bay.
Loss. Unless Tampa Bay's sitting everybody at that point.
Yeah, that's the only way they win that last game. But
so what do we have them at?
I think I only rounded out to about 5 or 6 wins. So I'm
still not betting the under though.
Yeah, I mean, no.
There's too many of those that I thought could go either way. I think they're going to be less than 3-point lines during the season, assuming these roster and of course things are going to change, right? Because a couple quarterbacks are going to get knocked out. The thing is, we just don't know who. We just don't know.
It's just the wait and see.
Some of these ones that seem like instant loss. I mean, what if Jameis and Taysom go down, right? Then that Saints is.
Then you got Ian Book under center, and it's like, good luck.
Yeah, so I mean, anything can happen with a lot of these teams. Same thing with Tampa, right? We talked about it. We all thought the 49ers were embarking upon their dynasty. They lost half their defense last year,
Yeah, and then they get them all right back this year.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, so much stuff where, if we would have been doing this exercise last year, we would have been against San Francisco a bunch of wins and making them 12-4. But then by week 3, we're making them 8-point dogs because Bosa's out, Sherman's out, the whole offensive line's out. So, all right, let's do some props and then we will wrap it up. I think we're making pretty good time here. I think we gave people a lot of good information without a lot of fluff.
I only got one prop for this Carolina team. Mm-hmm. Darnold's going over that 39.50.5. You can mark that down. With these two coaches and this offense and these receivers, he's going to throw for at least 4,000 yards.
I've heard he hasn't looked that good in camp.
Yeah, but I mean, I've never been big on him, but I think that number's a little bit too low.
I was big on him. I'm stupid, though. He was throwing interceptions left and right in college. And
that's why I was never big on him. I was like, dude's doing it at USC, like, he's probably going to do it in the league.
I love my
too.
West Coast guys, right? I just wanted a USC quarterback to be good so bad. It just never happened. Never.
Yeah, I think that number's too low for him, though. I mean, we break that down. Let me just do the math real quick.
My concern is this. Remember how in the other ones we're talking about, well, they're going to be behind all the time. Is this defense is bad? I mean, I know we kind of just went over it, right? But I think they have solid players on all 3 levels. Right? I think they have good corners.
I think so, too. I mean, their defense isn't stout, I wouldn't call it, but they can...
No, but it's average, and they're not just going to be like a turnstile like, say, that Atlanta team.
Yeah. Yeah, the secondary is part of my worry there. Their front seven is going to be tough. Shaq Thompson, Hassan Reddick.
I mean, isn't the secondary the worry of 26 of the 30 teams?
Yeah, that probably is true.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that 39.50, breaking it down by 17 games, is only 230 yards a game. He has 2 games where he clears 300. I mean, you're probably sitting good.
I mean, and we're pencil him for like 330 in Atlanta, right? Even if they lose that game.
Yep.
I mean, the final score is going to be 37-31. We just don't know who's going to be at the top, right? Okay. Well, this is a lot of fun. Tyler, AFC South, NFC South, final thoughts or any bets that I missed that I just didn't ask you about because I just got excited to talk about what I want to talk about?
I mean, nothing really, but let's have some fun. Let's each pick 2 Super Bowl teams, one from each side, and let's each pick an MVP since this is
Okay,
our last video before the regular season.
we'll do that. But then, hey, right now, get this set up because I want you right to close the video. Give a list out of all the bets that we fell upon because I wasn't making them and I want to be able to write them down. I didn't make them while we were going along. So the first thing we're going to pick is the Super Bowl, right?
Yep.
Who we think the Super Bowl is going to be?
Who's your NFC team?
It's not going to be Tampa. I'm going to be contrarian there.
You're taking the Rams, and you know it.
Oh, yeah, Los Angeles Rams. Kansas City Chiefs is for the AFC. I mean, that's easy.
Give me the Niners.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, we've had this conversation before. Not
And then
going to surprise anyone.
We'll probably. I mean, I'll have some fun on the AFC. You could have the Chiefs. Give me the Browns.
Yeah, well, I mean. All right, and I'll take Patrick Mahomes as my MVP.
And I'm taking the old man. Give me Brady.
All right, and you're going to get a lot more money if you're right. So I mean, I'm pretty much playing it safe with my predictions here, right?
I mean, sometimes you got to do that though. So
I mean, Chiefs out the West is pretty cookie cutter, right? Like, I mean, out of the AFC, right? Like, my mom barely watches football, and she can pick the Chiefs to come out of the AFC.
Yeah, I mean, the Chiefs should come out of the AFC. I think the only team that could stop them is Cleveland.
Yeah, I'd agree with you there.
The NFC, on the other hand, though, I think is like 4 or 5 teams can sneak out of there.
Yeah, so, one thing, since we're talking about this. So, like I said, I was driving around listening to talk radio, right? And this guy said, of course, it's a local, so they love the 49ers, right? The 49ers can do wrong. And he said, I can't think of 4 teams that I would bet to make the Super Bowl ahead of the 49ers, right? And I'm thinking in my head, I'm driving like, this is BS. These are such homers, right? And then they went through, and I was like, he's kind of right.
Yeah, I mean,
because it's really only
the Chiefs.
No. This is just to go to the Super Bowl out of the NFC.
Oh, just to make it out of the NFC.
So I would say that who I bet before the Niners, I would bet the Rams, the Bucks, and
that's it.
The Packers.
Yeah, I'd say but I'd have the Rams behind them, so I'd only have 2 teams in front of them.
Yeah. So I mean, when they said that, I said, gosh. Because I think the AFC is more stacked than the NFC. Wouldn't you agree?
I mean, I agree and disagree. I think it's a better conference, but I think the NFC has more paths for different teams to make the Super Bowl. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's fair. I would definitely agree with that. It seems like the AFC goes through Kansas City.
Yeah, if things fall weirdly in the NFC, and you get home field advantage, you could easily make the Super Bowl just based on that, to where the Chiefs could probably roll into the playoffs as the 6th seed and just flip the switch, and there's nothing anyone can do about it.
Exactly.
So,
all right, final question since we're just doing these one. Who wins the Super Bowl, AFC or NFC?
I'm going NFC.
All right, I'll go AFC. Skip Bayless, eat your heart out. Anything else, Tyler, before we log off?
No, that's it. I mean, you want me to run these bets down real quick?
Run through the bets, and then I'll tell everyone to go to runpurebets.com, and then we'll end the video.
All right, the bets from today's show were: we took Jacksonville to finish 3rd in that division at plus 120.
Mm-hmm.
We took Tennessee as a hedge against winning the division to finish and get a wild card spot in the AFC at plus 480.
Plus 450. I love. Yeah, I mean that's fantastic.
We took Sam Darnold over 39.50.5 passing yards.
Okay.
We took Mike Evans over 1,050.5 passing yards. That was one we talked about when you were on your bathroom break.
Okay, I like it.
Brady to win the MVP at 14-1.
Okay.
And Trevor Lawrence, Offensive Rookie of the Year, 3.5-1.
What was the plus 3,000? I was going to send you 100.
Oh yeah, Texans 0-17.
So my 2 favorite bets for the whole show, right? That Tyler just mentioned. I love the plus 480 on the wild card for the Titans, and give me that 0-17. I love it. So, Tyler, awesome. In honor of Deshaun Watson, you planning on getting massages this week?
Probably not.
All right.
Gotta go back to work tomorrow. Don't need any extra charges coming on.
On that note and on that horrible joke, thank you everybody for hanging out. If you like this analysis that we provided, you can get that and more over at runpurebets.com. Use the promo code BETS25 off to become a member. Jump in the Discord, get access to Tyler, myself, JJ, Joy Work, and the Sports Keg. You will get all the winners that we are giving out, and it's a great community to be a part of as well. So it's the best deal in sports handicapping information. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out, and run pure.